Modjeska Historic House and Gardens. My name is Bradley. I'm a historic park curator, so this is one of 7 different historic sites that OC Parks manages on behalf of the residents of the county. So if you are a taxpayer, thank you. So today we are at the Helena Modjeska House. This is a very special site, one of my favorites, although if you see me at another park that I'm running, I will say that there too. Very loving person. This particular site, Helena Modjeska House, is very special. There is a whole bunch of historic sites out there that are on the National Park Service's Register for Historic Places. To get on that list, you basically send an application to the Park Service and saying, hey, this place is significant because this local event happened here. And a lot of times you get listed on the register, hey, this is a historic place. There are different designations for that though. Like to get on the list, you just need to prove local significance. Hey, something happened in this area that's important for this area. There are higher classifications for things that have greater importance. And one of those is like something like a national level importance. So we call those National Historic Landmarks. That is the highest designation of historic site that the National Park Service gives designation to. And Helena Modjeska's home here is one of only 2 in Orange County. So, does anyone want to guess what the other National Historic Landmark in Orange County is?
Nixon.
That is close but incorrect. So, Mission is incorrect.
Nixon.
You're going to kick yourself because it's the Nixon birthplace, not the Nixon Library. Library's new. But obviously the Nixon birthplace, he became a president, so that was nationally significant, right? Helena Modjeska is in that same level of classification. For her era, she was one of the most famous names in this country. She was someone whose name would be slapped on things to advertise any number of products, from corsets to candies, which if you haven't been there yet, we do have some of the Modjeska candies out by the refreshment table on the other end of the house, if you'd like to grab one. Don't touch any of the historic things inside the house after you pick up one of those sticky candies, please, though. Her name was of large importance throughout. It was in name recognition. You said Helena Modjeska, people would have known who you were talking about during this time period. And even more significant than that, not only is her name so famous that the National Park Service is like, oh my God, this is a national landmark. She is actually one of the even smaller pile, like only 1% of National Historic Landmarks are dedicated to women's history. And she was not only a woman, but an immigrant woman who relocated here and started a second career here in the United States. And of all the places she could have lived in, she decided to live out here in what was then kind of the middle of nowhere. So after the performance that we're going to do today, if you would like to learn a little bit more about her, if you haven't already been inside, we'll be having open house tours of her home. You can learn a little bit more about Helena Modjeska and why she chose to settle out here. But you guys are here for the show, so I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Let me introduce you to the Modjeska Shakespeare Players, and Nicholas Thurkettle is going to introduce you to all the scenes that they're going to perform today. So thank you again for coming out today.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you. Very polite of you. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. My name is Nicholas Thurkettle. I am the manager of the Modjeska Shakespeare Players. We are a troupe of actors that like to celebrate the legacy of Madame Modjeska. One of the things that we love about her is that when she wanted to support this property and went back out on tour and performed Shakespeare, she was doing it in places in California that had literally never heard it before. Our state was very young. She was going to boom towns and mining camps and doing showcases of scenes and monologues like we're going to do for you today. And so we call her the ambassador of Shakespeare to California, introducing it to people who had never experienced it before. And so we love to do the same thing. Shakespeare in its time was popular entertainment. It wasn't like people paid $200 to watch people in tights say things they don't understand. This was for the masses. Anyone could come to the Globe Theater, whether they were royalty or people who could only afford a penny, and they could come and they could have a good time. And it's drama and comedy and intrigue and so many dirty jokes. But that's what we want to bring Shakespeare back to. That it's entertainment. We believe anyone can love Shakespeare, and that is our mission. So how many people are here at Arden for the first time? That's amazing. So, how many of you are seeing us for the first time? Wow. Well, I hope we don't let you down. Anytime that we are getting to know strangers, we like to do icebreakers, right? There's a very popular icebreaker called Two Truths and a Lie. We're going to do a Shakespearean version of that for you today called Two Struths and a Falsehood. Struth, by the way, a little Shakespeare trivia, is short for God's truth. So they say struth, so they don't say the name of God and take the name of God in vain, which is a commandment. So they say struth instead. So we're going to do two struths and a falsehood. I'm going to bring out a famous character from Shakespeare. They're going to introduce themselves, say three things about themselves. One of them is not true. If you think you know what thing is not true, don't blurt it out. Raise your hand. I will call on one of you, and we have a little bag of prizes, to reward people for guessing correctly. So, first up, we have the lovely Juliet from Romeo and Juliet. Please, round of applause.
What's your name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet.
Oh, thank you,
But
Juliet.
yes, that is my name. And I heard we were playing Two Struths and a Falsehood. I love that game. Now, mine are, at the time of the play, I'm only 14 years old, like a freshman in high school. My cousin's name is Rosalind. And by the end of the play, Romeo and I are definitely officially married.
All right, thank you, Juliet. We have two. I think I saw your name up first. Which one is false?
The marriage.
That's incorrect. Juliet
We're
is
totally married in secret by Friar Lawrence.
She is not married by the end.
What?
Well, you are.
She wasn't 14.
She wasn't 14.
Yeah.
I'm only 13, you guys.
Oh!
I thought I was in high school. I'm only in like middle school when this all goes down.
Wow. You have definitely won the prize. All right. What I'm going to give you is a box of Shakespeare blend breakfast tea. Enjoy that while I stew in my failure. Thank you very much, Juliet. All right. Let's see if we can recover from that. Next, I think we have a melancholy prince, if he's willing to step out of his melancholy long enough to join us and play a little game. Everyone, meet the Prince of Denmark, Hamlet. Greetings. All right, Hamlet.
Hamlet, Prince of Denmark.
I know you've been in a bad mood lately, but hopefully you can play this game with us.
I'll try.
All right.
Well, greetings, I am Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Two truths and a lie. Well, first of all, I am very, very passionate about the art of theater. In fact, I study it. I study theater at the College of Wittenberg. And in my exciting travels, I have indeed been, in the past, captured by pirates.
Oh, two truths and a falsehood. Okay, which one is the falsehood? Right there. That is true, as a matter
I
of fact.
have been,
Captured by
and in
pirates.
those adventures they helped me escape, and it was a whole thing that happened off stage, believe it or not.
Complex things happen off stage in Shakespeare sometimes. Yes, you had your hand up?
You went to college at that particular university?
That is the falsehood, but
I did go to
studying
Wittenberg.
Wittenberg is Germany.
Wittenberg is in Germany. That is where he is
I
studying.
traveled back home learning upon my father's death.
I'm going to give it to you. The falsehood is that he is not studying theater at Wittenberg. Does anyone know what he is studying? No. Thank you. He's studying rhetoric.
Rhetoric. Rhetoric.
All right. Thank you for that. I'm going to give you a box of Shakespeare Band-Aids that have Shakespearean insults on them. Shakespeare wrote some of the best insults. So whenever you're feeling bad, you've got one of those ready to pick you up. Thank you, Your Highness. And now, since we have Hamlet here, and he does love the theater, and we have a bunch of actors here, Hamlet has one of the best speeches about acting in all of Shakespeare. So Patrick Peterson, hardest working actor in Orange County, he's on stage in The Exorcist tonight at Golden West.
Yes.
But he's here today. Go for it, Patrick.
So this speech is actually a lot of fun. About halfway through the play, Hamlet himself is trying to capture the guilt of his evil uncle and prove to the entire court that the man has killed his father. If you really get The Lion King, it's kind of similar to that.
So what Hamlet is doing right now, in an attempt to capture the guilty conscience of the king, he's creating an elaborate play within a play. So he's hired a group of actors to come travel to the castle court, and he's writing a play that kind of proves that the king has killed his own brother, his own uncle. His uncle has killed his father. So as Hamlet is speaking to this group of traveling actors, there's a bunch of humorous little asides and little humorous hints as to how actors actually performed back in Shakespeare's time. So yeah, do your best to follow along, and here we go. This is how Hamlet is addressing the group of actors. Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounce it to you, trippingly on the tongue. For if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as leave town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and, if I may say, whirlwind of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that must give it smoothness. Oh, how it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig-pated fellow tear a passionate tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who, for the most part, are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumbness and noise. I would have such a fellow whipped, it out Herod's Herod, pray you avoid it. No, be not too tame neither, but like your own discretion, your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with special consideration that you overstep not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is for the purpose of playing, for which at first and now was and is to hold as 'twere a mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own figure, scorn her own image, the very body and shape of the time, his form and pressure. Now, this overdone or come tardy off, well, it might make the unskilled laugh, will certainly make the judicious breathe. The censure of the which, one in your allowance, must overweigh a whole theater of others. Oh, I have seen players play and heard others praise that have stretched and bellowed that methought that nature's journeyman hath made man, and not made him very well. They imitated humanity so abominably. Ugh. Oh, and let your clowns speak no more that is put down for them, for there are those of them that make themselves laugh to set some sort of barren quantity of others to laugh. 'Tis most villainous and shows a poor ambition in the clown that uses it. Go, get you ready. Thank you. And now, Ace and Amara.
Hello! We're going to be doing a scene from King Henry VI, Part 1. And this is one of Shakespeare's history plays, which means that it's loosely based on historical events.
It's not generally done often because Henry VI follows a more popular, more adventurous play, Henry V.
That one stars a Henry V who is, kind of a badass king. He leads the English in many victories against France. Now this play, as you might assume, being Henry VI, takes place right after he dies and leaves basically a young boy on the throne of England.
Being the King of France, this is the perfect time for me to get back in England.
Now I'm going to be playing Joan la Pucelle, or as she's later known, Joan of Arc. Having received a vision from God, I've decided to come and offer my aid to the King of France in the war against the English.
I do not believe a word.
So I'm going to have to prove myself to him. You want to talk about sword stuff?
Oh yeah, huh? So, we will be doing a little sword fight for y'all. These are blunt, not sharp, but they do hurt if you get hit by them. So please.
Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs behind the line of the tent poles here. You keep an eye on any children. We are trained in sword fighting safety, but it makes our job a lot easier if we don't have to watch out for you. Thank you. I am by birth a shepherd's daughter, my wit untrained in any kind of art. Heaven and Our Lady gracious hath it pleased to shine on my contemptible estate. Lo, whilst I waited in the fields, and waited on my tender lambs, and to the sun's parching heat displayed my cheeks, God's mother deigned to appear to me, and in a vision full of majesty, willed me to leave my base vocation and save my country from calamity. Her aid she promised and assured success. In complete glory, she revealed herself with those clear rays which she infused on me. That beauty am I blessed with which you see. Ask me what question thou canst possible, and I shall answer unpremeditated. My courage, try by combat if thou darest. Thou shalt find that I exceed my sex. Resolve on this. Thou shalt be fortunate if thou receive me for thy warlike mate.
Thou hast astonished me with thy high demand. Only this proof I'll of thy valor make. In single combat, thou shalt buckle with me. And if thou vanquishest, thy words are true. Otherwise, I renounce all confidence.
I am prepared. Here is my keen-edged sword, decked with 5 fleur-de-luces on either side. The witched terrain in St. Catherine's churchyard. Out of a great deal of old iron I chose forth.
Then come. In God's name, I fear no woman.
And while I live, I'll ne'er fly from a man. I were too weak.
Whoever helps me is thou that must help me. Impatiently, I burn with thy desire. My hand and my heart thou hast at once subdued. Excellent yourself, if thy name be Sue, let me be thy servant and not sovereign be. 'Tis the pledged outlaw, Sue, to be thus.
I must not yield to any rights of love, for my profession is sacred from above. When all thy foes I have chased from hence, then will I think upon a recompense.
Meantime, look gracious upon thy prostrate thrall. Shall we give alarms, or no?
Fight to the last gasp. I will be your guard.
What you say I shall confirm. We shall fight it out.
Assigned am I to be the English scourge. This night the siege assuredly I'll raise. Expect St. Martin's summer, halcyon day, since I have entered into these wars. Glory is like a circle in the water that never ceaseth to enlarge itself, till by broad spreading it dispersed to naught. Henry's death, the English circle ends. Dispersed are the glories it included.
Bright star of Venus, falling down to earth. How may I reverently worship thee enough? Presently, we'll try. Come, let us away about this. No prophet will I trust if you prove false.
So Shakespeare is most well known for his plays, but he also wrote a whole lot of sonnets, 154 of them actually. And if you're not familiar with sonnets, they are 14-line poems that generally speak of love and adoration. And I'm going to share one of those with you. I'm going to share sonnet number 29. It starts a little different, starts a little bleak, but I promise it ends on a high note. When, in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate. Wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring that man's art, that man's scope, with what I most enjoy contented least. Yet, in these thoughts myself almost despising, haply, I think on thee and then my state. Like the lark at break of day arising, sings her, from sullen earth sings hymns at heaven's gates. For thy love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. Now I'm going to welcome back Amara.
And we're going to be doing a scene from Shakespeare's As You Like It, one of the comedies. And now I'm going to be playing Rosalind. Yes, there's a Rosalind in this one too. And now this role is one that Helena Modjeska herself was famous for playing. So I'm gonna have some pretty big shoes to fill here. And Taylar is going to be playing Celia.
Yes, and the relationship between Celia and Rosalind is a very close one. They are technically cousins by birth, but they were raised together, so they are basically sisters and best friends. And Celia's father, in some sort of fit, decides he is going to banish my dear sweet Rosalind. So run out into the forest of Arden with her in solidarity.
But right before I get banished to the forest, I meet this really cute guy. He's like a really good wrestler, and right after the match, I gave him my necklace as like a token of my affection. But I haven't heard anything from him because we both ran away into the forest. Yes. But out here, there's this weird thing. We've been finding these like notes stuck on all the trees, and I have no idea who wrote all these notes.
Aha, but I do. They're all terrible poems. They're filled with a lot of sentiment, but they are awful. But Celia, being so excited to have this juicy gossip, gets to tease Rosalind with it mercilessly. But out of work. Therefore, heaven nature charged that one body should be filled with all graces wide and large. Nature presently distilled Helen's cheek, but not her heart. Cleopatra's majesty, Atalanta's better part. Sad Lucretia's modesty, thus Rosalind of many parts. By heavenly synod was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts, to have the touch's dearest prize. Heaven would that she these gifts to have, and I to live and die her slab. Oh, didst thou hear these verses?
Oh yes, I heard them all, and more too, for some of them had in them more feet than the verses would bear.
But didst thou wonder how thy name has come to be carved and hanged upon these trees?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck? Change your color.
I prithee who?
Oh, Lord, Lord.
Nay, but who is it?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee now with most petitionary vehemence, tell me who it is!
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again wonderful. And after out of that, all whooping.
I prithee, tell me who it is quickly, and speak apace. I would thou couldst stammer that thou mightst pour this concealed man out thy mouth as wine comes out of narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth that I may drink thy tidings.
It is young Orlando that tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking. Speak sad brow and true maid.
And faith, cuz, 'tis he.
Orlando?
Orlando!
Oh, alas the day! Oh, what did he when thou sawest him? What said he? How looked he? Where went he? Oh, what makes he here? Did he ask for me? Oh, where remains he? How parteth he with thee? And when shall thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
You must borrow me Gargantua's mouth first. 'Tis a word too great a size for any mouth of this ages.
But doth he know that I am in this forest? Looks he as freshly as he did the day he wrestled?
It is as easy to count atomies as the propositions of a lover. Take taste of my finding him and relish it with good observance. There he lay under a tree like a dropped acorn.
It may well be called Jove's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Give me audience, good man. Proceed. There he lay, stretched along like a wounded knight.
Though it be pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Cry hollow to thy tongue, I prithee. Pervert unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous, he comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song without a burden, thou bringest me out of tune.
Do you not know that I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. Sweet, say on.
Soft, comes he not here? Next up to the stage, it is not Orlando, but it is Nicholas Thurkettle.
Yeah, I do not know how to wrestle, so Orlando would not become me. As You Like It takes place in the Forest of Arden, which is what Madame Modjeska named this estate. So clearly this play was incredibly important to her. And part of the magic of Arden was it was the idea that it was where people from the court came to leave all those structures behind. You know, it was a place where your title, your wealth didn't mean anything. It was a place to commune with nature and reconnect with ourselves and rediscover our true identities. So people come to the forest to learn about themselves. And one of the people in the Forest of Arden is a follower of the banished Duke named Jacques, and he's kind of the dour philosopher of As You Like It. And he delivers one of the most famous speeches in Shakespeare, where he compares the life of a person to a character in a play. And the speeches become known as the 7 Ages of Man. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and his shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden, quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, with fair round belly and good shapen line, his eyes severe and his beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. And the 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. The last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Mario, it's a very special treat. As we say, we like to pay tribute to Madame Modjeska. She is not with us anymore, but we have the next best thing. Jill Cary Martin, who has played Madame Modjeska in a couple of pieces of ours. We wanted to give you something that was outside of Shakespeare because she was famous all over the world for more than just these roles. So we found a wonderful historic piece that we looked up and confirmed that she portrayed. And Jill is going to deliver this speech for you now that Madame Modjeska once performed.
Hi, I'm Jill Cary Martin, and I've been here periodically. I've now moved out to Temecula, so it's a little bit of a drive for me. I wish they had a balloon that went right here. Madame Modjeska portrayed not only all the Shakespeare heroines, she portrayed works from a canon that came a little bit later than Shakespeare. She did Mary Stuart, which is a very popular play actually in the States. It details the last months of the life of Mary Stuart, who was in competition with Queen Elizabeth I for the crowns of England and Scotland. The story of this play is the made-up confrontation between Elizabeth and Mary. They never actually met, but if you've seen the several movies that have been done about these two very powerful women, they always meet, and they always do not give any ground whatsoever. Elizabeth jailed Mary for 18 years. She was imprisoned, but in a rather lavish situation. She had her attendants and so forth, and even at times there was thought of releasing her, but finally Elizabeth was kind of backed into the corner by her various advisors and signed a piece of paper that said, okay, go ahead and execute Mary. This speech is from the earlier part of the play, and Mary has first gotten that piece of paper. I am kept imprisoned here against all laws of nations. I came not into England sword in hand. I came a suppliant. And at the hands of my imperial kinswoman, I claim the sacred rights of hospitality when power seized upon me, and prepared to rivet fetters where I hope protection. Say, is my conscience bound then to this realm? What are the duties that I owe to England? I should but exercise a sacred right, derived from sad necessity, if I warred with these bonds, encountered might with might, roused and incited every state in Europe for my protection to unite in arms. Whatever in a rightful war is just and loyal, 'tis my right to exercise. Murder alone, a secret, bloody deed, my conscience and my pride alike forbid. Murder would stain me, would dishonor me. Dishonor me, my lord, but not condemn me, nor subject me to England's courts of law, for 'tis not justice, but mere violence, which is the question between myself and England. I am weak. She is the mighty one. 'Tis well, my lord. Let her then use her power. Let her destroy me, let me bleed that she may live secure. But let her then confess that she hath exercised her power alone and not contaminate the name of justice. Let her not borrow from the laws the sword to rid her of her hated enemy. Let her not clothe in this religious garb the bloody daring of licentious might. Let not these juggling tricks deceive the world. Though she may murder me, she cannot judge me. Let her no longer strive to join the fruits of vice with virtues fair and angels shuffle.
wouldn't let it dare to seem the thing she is.
We are so grateful to you for coming out here today to experience this place and experience some Shakespeare. Our motto is Shakespeare anywhere. Shakespeare wrote for the masses. He wrote popular entertainment. We don't consider it elitist. We don't consider it intimidating. We don't want you to think about spending $200 on a ticket to see people in tights saying things you don't understand. We want this to be fun, and we want you to love it as much as we love it. So we thank you for being here today. We hope you enjoy the rest of your visit, that you check out the house, you sample the Modjeska candy, the only product she endorsed in her lifetime. Enjoy some amazing music from Orangetown Revival. They're just about to get started. And yeah, if you ever want to see some more Shakespeare, let the House Foundation and OC Parks know how much you love this and want to see us. We're very portable, as you can see. We want to perform in the spirit of Madame Modjeska and be able to take this show anywhere it needs to go. And that includes in schools. We want to do this educationally. So if you want this at one of your schools, look us up on social media. We're on Facebook as Mod Shakes. We are on Instagram as Modjeska Shakespeare Players. We took the peer out to shorten it, and because we have no peer, Modjeska Shakespeare Players. My name is Nicholas Thurkettle. Thank you so much for letting us play in front of you this afternoon.